Chapter 1. Midnight eyes. Rain crawled down the city windows like tears refusing to fall. It was 2:13 a.m. The streets below were empty except for distant headlights sliding through the darkness. Inside a small apartment on the 7th floor, a young man sat silently beside a desk lamp. His name was Adrian Vale. A black notebook rested in front of him. On the first page, only one sentence was written: "People never reveal who they are willingly." Adrian closed the notebook slowly. The room around him was cold, minimal, almost lifeless. No decorations, no family photos, no memories hanging on the walls, only books, psychology, human behavior, manipulation, emotional conditioning, persuasion, power, hundreds of them. Most people thought Adrian was intelligent. They were wrong. He was observant. And observation was far more dangerous, because intelligence helped you solve problems. Observation helped you control people. Outside, thunder echoed across the city. Adrian stood up and walked toward the window. Below him, a couple argued near a parking lot. The woman crossed her arms. The man avoided eye contact. Adrian watched silently. Then he whispered to himself, "She already forgave him. He just doesn't know it yet." Exactly 30 seconds later, the woman's posture softened. The argument ended. The man hugged her. Adrian turned away before the embrace even happened. Because he already knew. He always knew. Chapter 2. The beginning of the darkness. Adrian wasn't born this way. Life made him this way. When he was 9 years old, his father disappeared without warning. No goodbye, no explanation. One morning, his father simply walked out the door and never came back. Adrian still remembered his mother standing in the kitchen afterward. Silent. Broken. Holding a coffee mug with shaking hands. That day changed something inside him forever. Children usually believe words. Adults know actions are the truth. For weeks, Adrian waited near the window every night, believing his father would return. But eventually, hope became humiliation, and humiliation slowly became observation. If people could lie so easily, then emotions were weaknesses. From that point on, Adrian began studying everyone around him: teachers, neighbors, classmates. He noticed things other people ignored: the fake smiles, the forced laughter, the hidden jealousy, the fear inside confident people. By age 12, he could predict arguments before they happened. By 14, he could tell when couples were about to break up. By 16, he realized something terrifying. Most people are controlled by emotions they don't even understand. And once you understand someone's emotions, you can control their decisions. Chapter 3. The Boy Who Smiled Too Much. During high school, Adrian met a boy named Ethan Cole. Ethan was popular, funny, loud, always smiling. Everyone loved him. But Adrian noticed something strange the very first day they met. Ethan blinked too slowly when people complimented him. His smile disappeared the moment conversations ended, and every joke sounded rehearsed. One afternoon, Ethan sat beside Adrian during lunch. "You're weird, man," Ethan laughed. Adrian kept eating. "You barely talk." "Most conversations are pointless," Adrian replied calmly. Ethan smirked. "You think you're smarter than everybody?" Adrian looked at him carefully. "No, I just think you're sad." The smile vanished from Ethan's face instantly. Only for a second. But Adrian saw it. That tiny crack. That tiny fracture behind the performance. 3 months later, Ethan attempted suicide. The entire school was shocked. Teachers cried. Students posted emotional messages online. Nobody saw it coming. Nobody except Adrian. Because sadness always leaks eventually, no matter how perfect the mask is. After that incident, rumors about Adrian began spreading through school. People said he was creepy, cold, emotionless. But the truth was much worse. He simply saw people clearly, and people hate mirrors. Chapter 4. University of Liars. Years later, Adrian entered Blackthorn University, a prestigious institution filled with wealthy students pretending to be confident. To Adrian, it felt less like a university, and more like a theater. Everyone performing, everyone hiding, everyone desperate to appear important. He stayed isolated, quiet, watching, observing patterns. Within weeks, Adrian understood exactly how social hierarchy worked there. The attractive students controlled attention. The wealthy students controlled opportunities, and the insecure students followed everyone else. Human behavior never changed, only the setting changed. One afternoon, during a behavioral psychology lecture, the classroom door opened, and she walked in. Her name was Serafina Blake. Everything about her demanded attention. Dark hair, sharp eyes, elegant posture, confidence dripping from every movement. The entire room noticed her instantly, except Adrian. He merely observed. Serafina scanned the classroom before taking her seat. Then her eyes landed on Adrian. Unlike the others, he wasn't staring at her. He wasn't trying to impress her. He looked almost uninterested. That intrigued her immediately, because attention was something she was used to controlling, and Adrian refused to give it. For the first time in years, someone made her curious. Chapter 5. Dangerous Curiosity. Over the next few weeks, Serafina kept finding excuses to approach Adrian, at the library, in hallways, at the cafe near campus. She initiated every conversation. Adrian never chased. That alone made him different from every other man she knew. One rainy evening, she sat across from him in the university cafe. "You know," she said, stirring her coffee slowly, "most people here are intimidated by me." Adrian looked up from his book. "They should be." Her eyebrow lifted slightly. "That wasn't flirting, was it?" "No." "Then what was it?" "Observation." Serafina smiled. "You observe everyone?" "Yes." "And what do you see when you look at me?" Adrian closed his book carefully. A woman terrified of being ordinary. The silence that followed felt heavy, dangerous. Most men tried to flatter Serafina. Adrian dissected her, and strangely, she liked it. Chapter 6. The addiction of understanding people. Become addicted to whoever understands them. That was the first mistake Serafina made. She kept thinking about Adrian constantly, his calm voice, his unreadable eyes, the way he looked through people instead of at them. She had spent years mastering attraction, but Adrian wasn't responding normally, which meant she couldn't control him. And losing control terrified her. One night, she texted him, "Why do you avoid people?" Adrian replied 20 minutes later, "Because most people wear masks." She stared at the screen, then typed, "And you don't?" The reply came instantly this time. "I learned how to see through them." A chill ran down her spine. Not fear, something worse. Fascination. Chapter 7. The experiment weeks passed. Adrian and Serafina grew closer, but their connection didn't feel romantic. It felt psychological, like two predators studying each other. One evening, Serafina invited Adrian to a private party hosted by elite university students. Luxury cars filled the driveway. Music echoed through the mansion. Drunk laughter contaminated the air. Adrian hated places like this, not because they were fake, because they revealed too much. Within minutes, he identified two couples pretending to be happy, one student addicted to cocaine, three men competing for status. A girl forcing confidence to hide insecurity. Human beings always expose themselves eventually. Serafina watched Adrian carefully all night. "You barely drink," she noticed. "Alcohol weakens observation." "And observation matters that much to you?" "It keeps people predictable." She leaned closer. "What if someone becomes unpredictable?" Adrian finally looked directly into her eyes. "Then they become dangerous." For the first time that night, Serafina felt nervous. Chapter 8. The secret room. Around midnight, Serafina pulled Adrian away from the crowd and led him upstairs into a private room. The music downstairs faded into distant vibrations. The room was dimly lit, quiet, intimate. She closed the door slowly. "You know what your problem is?" she asked. Adrian remained calm. "No. You act like emotions are weaknesses." "They usually are." "That's sad." "No," Adrian said quietly. "It's useful." Serafina stepped closer. "Useful people don't survive forever." Adrian's eyes narrowed slightly. "And emotional people do?" She didn't answer, because deep down, she knew he was right. The world rewarded manipulation more than honesty, power more than kindness, control more than vulnerability, and both of them understood that truth better than anyone else. Chapter 9. Cracks in the Mask. Days later, Serafina started noticing something disturbing. Adrian rarely talked about himself, never about his family, never about his past, never about pain, which meant one thing. The pain was severe. People only hide wounds that almost destroyed them. One evening, she confronted him. "What happened to you?" Adrian stayed silent. "You analyze everyone else," she continued, "but nobody knows anything about you." "That's intentional." "Why?" "Because once people understand your weaknesses, they control you," she interrupted softly. Adrian looked at her carefully. For the first time, his composure weakened slightly. "You learn quickly." Serafina sat beside him quietly. "Who hurt you?" A long silence followed. Then Adrian finally spoke. My father taught me the most important lesson of my life. What lesson? Never trust someone just because they say they love you. The air between them changed instantly. For the first time, Serafina saw the darkness behind Adrian's eyes. Not arrogance, not coldness, pain, old pain, the kind that changes people permanently. And strangely, that made her feel even closer to him. Chapter 10. The beginning of obsession. Attraction can become obsession very quickly when mystery is involved. Serafina stopped focusing on anyone else. Every conversation became about Adrian. Every thought circled back to him. She wanted to understand him completely, but Adrian remained impossible to read fully, and humans become obsessed with what they cannot possess. One night, while walking across campus together, Serafina suddenly asked, "Have you ever loved someone?" Adrian looked ahead silently. "Yes." Her heartbeat quickened. "What happened?" "She betrayed me." "Did you hate her afterward?" "No." "That's surprising." Adrian's voice became quieter. "You don't hate the person who breaks you. You hate yourself for trusting them." Serafina felt something tighten inside her chest, because those words sounded too real to be theoretical, too personal. And in that moment, she realized something terrifying. Adrian wasn't studying darkness academically. He had lived inside it. End of part 1.